Welcome to
Too Random.
I'm ISpeakMotivate.
I'm SirXpress.
And today we're coming to you with the topic of Tyreek Hill and the child abuse case. I don't know if you all know that the NFL is still, having an investigation and things like that. But SirXpress is going to go more into it here.
Okay, now today there was released a tape from 610 Sports in Kansas City. They have released a full audio of what was going on between him and Crystal Espinal. Now, according to TMZ, Tyreek is now saying that he never touched her back in 2014 with the domestic violence incident that he pled guilty to in 2015. He also states that Tyreek says, "I did not hit you, I did not touch you, I picked you up and I put you outside of my door." What is your statement on that?
Yeah, so the question today is Tyreek Hill guilty? And for me personally, I'm at a point of, I don't know. Because I'm a person where if I wasn't there, I don't know. Things can seem condemning or things can seem as if they're innocent. But the totally opposite can be true. Some things I did notice with the audio was that on both ends with Crystal and Tyreek, let me get with the Crystal. With Crystal, she had very much leading questions, very leading into getting what she wanted to be recorded. To me is, how did you know that you needed to record at this particular time? And you were probing for questions, and he got irritated. Because as a person, okay, it's like, okay, you want me to tell all this stuff? She kept on asking him questions back to back, like an interrogation. And he was like, okay, now you're getting on my nerves. And so when we first saw the audio from KCTV, that was condensed. And it was like, oh, you should be scared of me, dumb B word. We didn't get the full context of things like that. And the thing is, with Tyreek, what he's definitely guilty of is not, if he's not guilty, he is guilty of not
thinking before he speaks.
And the thing is, let's say for the sake that he's not guilty, because I'm not saying whether he's guilty or not guilty, but just for the sake, say that he's not guilty. Because he's in the status of where he is as a football player and a celebrity, he may think, because he knew for her a long time, they can talk normal and you can have angry arguments, which you should never call a young lady out of her name. But in relationships, sometimes you do. When you get in an argument with your significant other, a lot of people do it, and it's unfortunate. But what happened was, he had a human moment on audio. Unfortunately, he doesn't have that liberty, because he's automatically a role model. He's automatically a mentor. He's automatically a part of the brand of the NFL and the Kansas City Chiefs. So he can't be a normal human being, if that makes sense.
Now, I will agree with you. There are certain things that are expected because you are in the limelight. But at the same time, he's a human. Like you said, we all say stupid things when we get mad that we don't mean at all. And I feel like he was pissed off in the moment, irritated, didn't really know what he was wanting to say, got triggered. I really feel like her saying he's terrified, that was a trigger word for him because that's his child. And he never wants his child to be terrified of him because your child's supposed to love you and respect you, and that's it.
Especially with him going back to say, I love that you say that because, especially him going back and saying, oh, in 2014, that didn't even happen. So now he's like, okay, now you're doing this with my child. You're putting my child against me at this point. And so if you look at it that way, it's very heart-wrenching that he's like, because just imagine if you're just a person that you are accused of something you didn't do and you pled guilty because you didn't have any money at the time. You're just a college student. Your parents didn't have money. And the best deal for you is to plead guilty so you can still continue to play football because you want to be drafted. You don't have time to be here for the long time of court proceedings, and you may lose and then end up going to jail, and then that football window, which is a very short window, is going to be gone for you, especially you serving time in jail. So, and then now this coming up, you thought your record was going to be expunged after you said, okay, I'm pleading guilty after I'm not really guilty, but I'm doing it just so it's going to be better for my family and me and my career to just move forward and forget all this. And then to be getting hit with a child abuse case, it works perfectly. Everything's intertwined because it is if he's not guilty, repetition. Okay, it goes with the narrative of and he has an abusive personality. He is violent. And this child abuse case goes into that. And like you said, it can be very triggering, especially if you're tired of getting lied on and now it's becoming more extreme, especially with someone, your blood, your child. So if this is the case, I'm not saying this is the case, but if that is the case, that is unfortunate. If he is not guilty, that this young lady is saying things to put his relationship with his child in jeopardy, his reputation, and in his career. Now we flip it. Let's flip it, saying that, say for example, he is guilty and with Crystal. So speak on that.
Now, it's kind of hard to speak on it in that case, just because there has been evidence that's come out in his favor medically. But let's say if none of this evidence came out and stated that it was, coexisting with a little person trying to brace themselves from falling, if he was to have done this and he hurt his child, he deserves to be barred from the NFL for life. If he was to have done this and he hurt her back in 2014, then he deserves the punishment that he got. Probably more. But at the end of the day, we are not his judges.
And we were not there. That's the whole thing about. And the people that have strong opinions about it on either side, we don't know. Unfortunately, we don't know who the victim is in this case. As far as the child, for me, I wish they could do some type of lie detector test on both sides to get the story that's correct, to get the truth. Because maybe it's somewhere in the middle. You know how they say it's somewhere in the middle. You have his side, her side, and then the truth in the middle. And so I will, even though sometimes lie detectors, you can go and manipulate them sometimes, but a lie detector test will kind of clear the air. And I just want them to be mature and get parenting classes and work on communication. And I feel like their relationship is toxic and they don't need to continue to be together, because it seems like every This happened in 2014, now in 2018. Every 4-year period, something drastic is happening in the relationship. And with them, they just don't need to be together. It's not a good move. And as far as, and then also the things of saying, just talking about Crystal and things like that, as far as she was speaking about, oh, you hit him in his chest and stuff like that. And if that is true, that definitely is unacceptable, and that is child abuse. And so if that is correct, he needs to know, he needs to get classes, and he needs therapy.
Now, I will say they have stated that he has gone to classes to learn how to parent, as far as how the government wants you to parent. Now, I will say that at the end of the day, so far from what I've read, there has been a lot of things coming in his behalf, kind of stating that he is in an innocent form, being that the second incident with the child was that the child was left alone by themselves, and she was laid out, knocked out, and he was not even in the city. Had to look at his video. And in that, if there's video evidence showing that, why is there not video evidence showing that he hurt his child? And so so many things that are coming out that are saying, leaning more towards him telling the truth,
right,
than her telling the truth. Because like you said, the audio was just so leading. It wasn't one of those just normal conversations. It was, and what did you say? And what did you do? And how did he see? And why does he keep saying this? Those are leading questions.
And especially, and you say something, and especially it pulls on the heartstrings of people because it's a child. So if someone were to say, remember when you gave him that bloody nose? And you're just standing there just thinking about, oh, you're talking about when he fell off the trampoline? Or you're just like, why are you, you're confused. You're confused
and that's when a lot of people get stuck. Like, it's like what?
Why are you trying to, and then even in the tape, he was saying how, I really feel like you're trying to, I'm just summarizing here, you're trying to set me up. Yes, you're trying to set me up. And the thing is, with this case, just on both sides, I believe they both should have a lie detector test, because we just need to know the truth.
Right.
Because I'm a person where I can't be on anybody's side except the child. And with the parents, I just want them to, they just need to separate. They're toxic for each other. As well as getting personal therapy for themselves individually, then as a family, then having the child have therapy, because you need the child in a healthy environment. So just advocating for the child here, they don't need to be together at all. Even if they get therapy together and they're trying to, is too many incidences together where they're conflicting.
Yeah. The video, I feel that if there was video evidence, it would be a little bit easier to pick a side, because then you can see facial expressions, what was going on. Because a lot of the times, like, people may think, oh, he got quiet. So I just feel like there should be video evidence. If there's not, it's kind of hard. But you guys, tell us what you think. Tell us how you feel about this situation.
Is Tyreek Hill guilty? Comment below. Share this podcast. Like us on SoundCloud. What is it? Apple Podcasts. Everything. Just follow us. Thank you. Love you.